Yeah, it's the kind of pick for 1-3 where you got to have first place kind of just keep going, but
Somebody take the cut, I'm guessing.
right, exactly. Your third place can go
Yeah.
into the cut, and they can pop out with better items. Anyway,
Regardless, we got a match on our hands now, and Callum going down really quickly.
That'll be him getting into 7th place now. So it's not that bad, of course. N64 BC able to catch on up. Triple reds is probably not the ideal way to do it, but you can slow down Luke, who is either going to be forced to use their... Yeah, they're going to be forced to use their item in reveal. They don't really have more than just streams right now. And
worth noting, there's a POW in 5th place right now, so that's going to likely be held for a little bit, but for Callum's perspective, may watch out just in case, because it could be a little bit of a game changer. Early blue coming in, actually.
yeah, it looks like the the blue will
some of
land.
the miscommunication there.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Luso, and the star's going down as well, but I think that Scotland's still pulling into the front.
Right, yeah, it is. And so it's still a mixture of spots in the middle. So far, nothing too telling about, like, I think Lusophone maybe having a good share of, like, bottom spots, but still, like, the folks that are up there from Lusophone Alliance aren't too far away. Actually, no, the pack is kind of growing right now if we're looking at the mini-map. Top 3 kind of getting away at this point, so that signals to me that there must have been a good troller on the Lusophone Alliance's side with Callum taking another green there, forced to use that star.
So is trolling typically on? Now that you mention it.
No, so trolling not allowed, not generally allowed.
Okay.
So trolling, it's interesting how the trolling rules have kind of adapted. Trolling, of course, for Mario Kart Wii refers to the practice of, if someone is going backwards, looking for the lightning bolt, they might run into players, and competitively, that's a no-no. So we generally have baggers avoid players racing up in the front. They can't use any power items and hit them. They can't even shroom into them. They can just bump into them if they're just driving backwards normally. So that's the
All right,
catch.
I like the play on the part of crap. I'm blanking really quickly. Callum has a bill in 7th right now.
Yep.
And our other Monties dropped to get a star in 8th. So now both teams kind of playing with fire right here. Both of them are holding dodges in the back. I think Scotland does have the advantage, but this may be a reactionary play on the part of Monties. Because that Bill's in 7th place, and with LSA in the mid-pack...
Yeah, there it is. That Bill coming in
This,
just now for Callum. He's going to be able to move
the star's
up.
not even activated in the back. This is going to be pretty big start for Scotland.
Yeah, that's a top 3. That's a top 3. That's a simple and clean top 3 for them. They'll go ahead and take that. In the meantime...
that may be a top 4. I don't see anybody else in Scotland.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else in Scotland in the back on the other perspective, so... Potential perfect start on the board here for Scotland.
Yeah. This looks like it's going to be a pretty easy time for them, at least from the first race. They're making it seem like, this is a done deal. Top 3 right out the gate. The thing is I definitely wasn't expecting that explosive of a start. So definitely, oh my god, it really was just a top 4 off the bat. Okay,
really
wow.
a perfect race at the end of the day.
Yeah.
As far as the whole bagging goes. So if you want to make a statement, Eirik, I think one has been made already, and suddenly all the pressure is now on LSA to turn this around immediately.
Yeah. This is not what I expected, to be clear. I don't think it continues like this. I don't know. Literally just going off of
thing to consider here is like in the back, they were very separated. 64 BC, kind of notoriously not the easiest track to bag properly. So you have to wonder what exactly was going on there. Did Scotland just get to the bolt sooner and were able to just sit on it with the bill?
Yeah, I feel like that was just... I feel like shock had been attained for a while and Monties was trying to predict, and they just couldn't get it. Because looking at the mini-map, the baggers were definitely very far enough ahead, so both teams would know, okay, their intent, they probably have it. But it could also have been the situation where it's just like, oh, I literally... Maybe they got shock in 9th, and I've been intent the whole time. Yeah, hold your dodge. I might get it now. I might get it now.
Scotland just didn't have to use that. They had the bill for insurance, had the top 3, just controlled every facet of that race, and got rewarded greatly for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it looks like we're maybe on the potential BC gauntlet. BC 3. potentially the most common track in the game. We already got the other two. This is always what I like to see in the past. I like the Bowser's Castle.
It really is. It's and I was talking about it before with Sword previously on the cast. Is like, yeah, this is the statistically the most popular, or sorry, BC3 is the most popular track in the game. BC3 is up there though for sure, and for good reason. It's a fun track to front run, but also definitely able to catch up if you are, good on the glitch or just are privy to, goldening up, because it is a long track. The blues do come in, the shocks do play a role here, and so either way, it's the end of lap 1. We find Callum here in the back of the pack with a star, and frankly, this is probably the best place to be, because the pack is not very...
Important to note, Scotland did take over first after a really great start from Monty's pulling the early golden and using it to immediately take over that front spot, but you can't block the glitch. And there's players this talented, your first place is as good as gone.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. So we'll have to see if, for Monty's here, I think, the trouble is this pack is not very, sure, you're in second place right now. Maybe even in first. We'll see this blue shell coming out. I don't know who's in first. That's Scotland, okay.
Problem is that there's a star in fifth right now.
Yeah, that's
being held by Scotland.
Yeah.
And that is such a powerful position because he's not particularly that far behind the front. So really, if any shot comes out where he's going to dodge, this is looking like a pretty easy win for Callum. But, maybe his team doesn't have it.
Yeah, that's the hard thing to tell. The baggers are neck and neck right now. So actually,
it looks like they just fell off.
They both respawned right in the process of going backwards. So that's confirmation that neither team has it, and they just have to hold on for dear life. Mega's being activated all around Callum. It seems in third place, seemingly just able to cruise up, press the A button.
The good old-fashioned 4v4 right now. No shock on the table at all. Kind of reminiscent of some of these. That's really good dodge for a Monty's. There was very conflicting. There's the shock.
Yeah, there it is. And oh my God, Callum, what happened here? That's going to be hitting the swamp that you never like to see. It always catches you off guard, but the shock dodge being for nothing.
Top 2.
Is that Lusophone Alliance in top 2? I think it is. Yeah, I think that is.
I think they're clutching it out. Everything in the middle from Scotland, though.
That hurt.
Got a little bit of an assist.
That hurt. Because, I know.
Take those.
I
take
get
those
it.
If you're LSA.
You do, but, that's the tough thing is, I get it. I really, really, trust me when I say this, I have been there when I hit the swamp, and, it does happen after the dodge just because it just catches you off guard, but it just can't afford that to generally happen. And so Lusophone able to recover in a situation where they probably shouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, timing is everything, but that's what's going to bite them here. So decent race for LSA. Obviously, you want to have a little bit more in the middle than that, but top 2, regardless, is going to be at least getting you close to an even race, just because, the point differential in this game, they love the players who get in the top 3. Even more so than the other games that we're going to be talking about this weekend.
For sure. And so as we go into the next few races, I find myself realizing I need to change the scoreboard. Shoutouts to Shackway for holding it down for so much of the day, helping with the process, and shoutouts to everyone who's been working on the World Cup so far. It's been really good to see, and thank you for everyone tuning in. Hope you all are enjoying the action. Scotland and Lusophone Alliance. This is the last Mario Kart Wii match for the day. Of course, we have 2 more Mario Kart 8 matches coming up later, which I don't know. Are you going to be commentating that by any chance?
I think I'll do the one at 10. We'll see.
Okay, it's 10 p.m. Shoot, going the distance. All right, fair.
Yeah, it's a weekend with shaky availability.
Yeah, so why not? Why not hold it down?
Yeah. The weather is not the best here, but we got to do what we got to do. Yeah. So I think there's some hail outside right now and some tornadoes everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just glad you're alive.
The show must go on.
I'm just glad you're. Bad. Yeah, you talked about.
The threat was earlier today, but we got through that.
That's hilarious because you were talking about literal tornadoes, and I'm just like, you should not be casting Mario Kart.
It didn't actually land in the area. It's just something to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of tornadoes, decent track. Not dry desert from Double Dash, but very similar in nature. One that we're going to be taking a look at here, just to be on topic. early top 2 for Scotland, but the golden third is going to be very nice on flipping that potentially sooner than later.
Right. And so what I obviously looking forward to seeing Monty's get away here, as you know, it should be definitely possible. Although, okay, some people really like to toy with my emotions while they go for the ultra. Unfortunately, you know,
insane.
In that situation, you should have been able to, you know, generally find a place to hop off of and ideally hold on to the golden from the POW. But unfortunately, Monty's not able to do that quite.
Oh, this is a TC that you don't want to see in 7th place. Maybe
never.
Yeah, for Callum, looks like he's just going to go down. So Scotland not having all the spots up in the front, but it seems like they do have good ones at the very least.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll take that at least. But yeah, golden. The thing is that, like, you know, it's really not that big of a something, at least for a golden to be able to catch up from. This is definitely reasonable. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that's possible. Although, yeah, definitely pretty far behind. But we'll see what the shock is like, especially. That could play a decent role here into how Callum is maybe able to recover. But in the meantime, Monty's in 5th.
It's like Monty's accidentally passed a TC to his teammate a second ago. So yeah, I guess he's going to have to make the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. He has 2 shrooms. I don't know who's in 1st right now.
Oh, that shock coming in. It is Luso Alliance in top 2 right now.
Pasky Scotland.
No, yeah.
Bill's going to disrupt this completely, you would think. Or maybe it won't.
No, it didn't. He ran into the Bill, just dropped him off in the worst place possible. Drops him off on that. I don't really know what to call that structure, but
wall, I guess. We'll go with that.
We'll go with it. And that'll be Luso Alliance getting a pretty solid race in the face of a shock coming out. I mean, Luso Alliance seemed to have top 2-4. Even though Scotland got shock, had to Bill dodge. I think it's still a winning race for Luso.
Sure, but maybe not. I know there was like at one point Jackie kind of confused me. He was kind of up front for a second. But at the very least, we know they got 1st. Again, 2 races in a row where maybe they shouldn't have gotten it, but they did, because the Bill drop off was just absolutely terrible. So we like to see this match getting a little bit closer, but that first race was just so good for Scotland. I still think that they have a moderately comfortable lead.
Yeah, they still should. It still won't be. It'll probably be like 10 points, 15 points, somewhere around there. And so we'll see. We'll get that score update real quick. But yeah, let's see here what the score is. It looks like it's a 17-point differential, so nothing too intimidating right now. 100 to 83 points is the current note. And as a note, we are aware of the game audio sync issues. We'll be fixing that. In fact, okay, I don't know how you are with spit and play-by-play generally, especially with Mario Kart, but how about you give it a whirl and show the world your Mario Kart Wii casting talent? I'm excited.
Well, we'll see. There's a lot of differences in all these games. I'm gonna do MKT tomorrow. So, and how the shock is used in every game is just really fascinating, because it's very different in all of them.
Right.
So we'll have to see. I may not be the sharpest on that, but we'll see.
Well, Peach Gardens to start off.
Our streamer's not getting the best of starts. One just missing it completely, but sometimes that can be rewarded, and Monies is actually going to get into 1st with the streaming pulls in 6th, and it looks like Luke's pulling that classic golden 1st set and just driving off to the sunset. So early top 2 coming in for Lusophone, and looks like they have a little bit of a gap at that as well. And a TC behind them, so this is pretty much ideal for what you want to start off with.
Yeah.
I don't think that the TC could get passed to a bagger either, so kind of a nice spot, but Scotland on the come up in 3 through 5.
For sure.
Well, I say that, and then there's another TC that gets pulled, so maybe not. Don't know if there's any Megas nearby. Stopping to try to pass it to Zen, but looks like he's not going to connect it. So 1-2-4 now for LSA.
Yeah, and Peach Garden generally regarded as a kind of like reset track, right? It's certainly able to do that job sometimes, but what it also creates is situations where that pack is able to grow very quickly whenever you have basically, like, getting triple shrooms on this track is so broken in that you can just take a shroom, cut off so much time.
I would agree with you on on the whole premise and stuff of, okay, so shot comes in, I believe, from LSA to cancel the blue. We'll see if there's a star, but it looks like Scotland dodged, so maybe it was just convenient timing. I was going to say, Luke would absolutely agree with you here on the reset track, but I don't know. Maybe it was LSA, because so many of them are just suddenly up in the top 6 now.
Yeah, they really are.
Ryan, the big survivor of the shock, maybe it was used to get him the win, but we're going to have to see. It looks like a 2 through 4 for LSA.
Yeah.
And
well, I think,
luckily for them, you can kind of get away with dodging a lot of items and reds and stuff up front, but he's going to have to be careful up there.
That said, Callum just got a blue shell in 6, holding it, so that seems to signal
I think
that...
it's a hold.
Yeah, so Scotland
sure.
in 1-3 maybe? A mega activated, so no shock, preventing the shock maybe. No, they're going to activate, so Lusophone had to have had it. And Callum, I mean, in 6 and 7, that's maybe Lusophone Alliance being able to pass up if they grow up just in time. I don't know, but either way, a lot of Scotland back here.
Yeah, Lost Scotland. Luke's actually going to pull that 7th on the line also. So I think this is another slightly positive race, but we'll have to see how the top 2 plays out here.
Yeah.
Did not get the best look on that. It was one of those classic scenarios where the blue is being held, but it's like you don't feel good about it because the opponents are right behind you. If they pull that second place shroom, they can get right by you at the end with the grass cuts. So
right.
We'll have to see what happened up there, but I think this is going to be a little bit of a nice race for LSA. 2 through 4, so...
Not
maybe
bad.
Luke did get lagged on the line as well.
Not bad at all.
He certainly looked like he got 7th.
Zian with the pop-off this GP. Looking pretty swell, if I do say so myself. So, what do we have here? A match that seems to be closer than anticipated, because I'll be honest, I think a lot of people, myself included, just going into... Just seeing Lusophone Alliance, I think just like in seeing a lot of names that I frankly haven't been familiar with, although maybe recognized from like way back. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. And so having had the performance they have
at the end of the day, I think getting 1-3 in the overall standings after the worst possible race 1 is an achievement of itself. So still very much a match, but again, some of those big races you just cannot come back from in a GP, no matter how many races you take the dub on.
Right. And I mean, Mario Kart is so often this game of like, yeah, just trying to keep it mathematical, and some points, like the mathematically close, it's kind of funny how much we like try to scope out every situation in which a team could potentially win in. But sometimes you just really can't afford to go down by the amounts that you're losing, consistently in races by. And fortunately enough for Lusophone, they've been able to not only keep up, but definitely answer back. So,
It's an interesting discussion because of the risk and reward of like going all in for potentially a top 4, maybe choosing the safer option just to make sure that everything's okay and that you aren't going to do anything stupid that loses a bunch of points. Yeah. Sometimes it's a real discussion to have.
Yeah, that's a one that I always love having. I think just like some people are of the opinion of like, hey, okay, if we are down by like, let's say 28 points and the max amount you can win by with 4 people racing and 1 person bagging, the max amount you can win by is 31 points. And you will have some people that say, yeah, I'd rather just have a bagger and just try to go for the plus 29 or better. And I don't know. Yeah, I just find it interesting.
I would typically agree with him in this game, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly certain. It's tough.
Yeah.
In other situations, it's just like you hold a shock to the end of the race because you need to try to get the best race possible, but what happens when the other team just randomly has a bill or something and pulls it last second, and then suddenly you have to dodge them or choose otherwise, so.
Yeah.
The risk and reward, I think, is always a really fun part of why you should really get into playing any MK game, just because testing that can often be the difference between the very best and those who are just still trying to climb to the top.
Right. It really is that. I'm glad I even just covered that.
Yeah.
All that said, we're in second lap.
Good spot right now.
Yeah.
Green in first. The Shroomba coming up.
Shroomba
is take advantage of that.
Apparently not optional. Optimal enough for Callum. He's a fan of better things, finer things than that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, again, risk and reward. It's like there's a small chance I may mess it up. Probably unlikely, but why go for it or top everything?
That's the thing. Like, that's the thing I can appreciate about it. Which, like, I definitely am victim to that thinking of like.
The other classic one is like there's a shroom after a shock on Mushroom Gorge in the cave section, and the dummy in you just totally wants to take it, but you know that there's no way that you should run into it.
Right.
But sometimes you can do it and do incredible things. Stars drop, but he hits the... he hit the zapper there, so...
Yeah.
A little bit of a setback, but still a top 3 regardless.
Somehow. I mean, the pack is still really close.
Although there's a lot of pressure right now on LSA.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure.
Although, at the same time, the Koopa Cape map can be a bit deceiving. I think, like, it can show people as closer, but, like, especially if it's the same kind of distance after this grass cut. Yeah, this is right around where you see this gap kind of separating. So, I'm kind of interested in seeing Callum. He's in between the front and the back. Having a bomb is huge. Doesn't connect it somehow onto anyone. Gets starred. Goodbye. That's the end of Callum's race, I would like to think.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, you would... Only 30 seconds ago, I was, like, worried for them that they may get top 4 again, but this is just... And they're in bottom 2 by a lot now, as far as the runners go.
Yeah.
So, you hope for Scotland that they hold the top 2 down. Looks like a potential option, but... Yeah, certainly good damage control, once again.
Yeah. And that's the game that Luso's been playing, interestingly enough. It seems like they've been struggling to I mean, they come back in the end and end up making a match of things or a game of things, but it's kind of a line you don't want to play too much. And they definitely...
We saw that earlier on another cast. There was a potential top 4 on KC, and a well-timed PAL just took everything away.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Again, whatever you can do to salvage, that's what we like to say, and make it so you get 3 through 6. That sometimes is the difference between having to come back from a top 4 for the entire second GP as well, and maybe staying close enough to be within striking distance.
Right, and we're certainly still within striking distance. A 19-point differential now, so a pretty negligible race. And Luso Alliance can't be complaining too much at all. Again, can't understate the importance of this match in how things progress. Of course, if you are just tuning into the action, figuring things out, you might want to head on over to endgame.tv/MKWC, where you can see the standings, results as they've come out, and all that jazz. You can see kind of group by group where the action is headed, so that might help with clarifying, okay, what is this Luso Alliance team, and who are they playing up against? Because, yeah, contextually, this group, if we take a quick look over, which I'd be happy to do. Yeah, it's a 6-team group where 2 teams are making it out, and it's probably the tougher between the 2. I mean, you could make
1-0 too, like
right.
We established. So
yeah,
they're both very much in it right now.
Mm-hmm. Very much the case. We'll get over to Wario's Gold Mine now, which honestly is not a big favorite of mine, but
it's still up in the meta frequently these days.
Yeah, it has been, and I think people have been finding the positional advantage in this track, and especially being able to hold, if you have like first at the very least, being able to trap on this is pretty simple, especially if you get a fit.
Yeah, you get some of these turns that are just complete blindside angles.
Yeah, and so
and
that's...
of course there's the classic, the shock that steals 100 seconds from your race if you actually get zapped at the right time.
Right,
we all know about that.
The ramp that we just saw like a while ago, that getting target shocked on there is just so lethal. Either way, a blue shell.
Lots of stuff.
I don't know how Callum just got in the first, but he just kind of pressed the A button and got into it.
No shrooms needed. We're just driving through all the chaos.
That was bold for a red shell. I would have, yeah.
Banana landing on the bat.
Nice back spam though. So
yeah, it gets a connection right there, and that's going to be huge on getting him a little bit of extra distance. Especially with the 2-3 behind him. You never want them to be too close where a red may actually hit or a green could bounce off a wall very easily.
Right.
And that's the power of having first in this game. Just the back spam potential on some of these tracks. This one in particular, I would say, you got that downhill section coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of good trap spots.
It really is, and we hope to see Callum taking advantage of that. As he,
at the very least, if it doesn't connect, like you make them go wide out of fear.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, most times that's enough, really, to help your team out. Either way, Lucifone is
a little bit of a target pal attempt, I think.
Right, they
saw that
did
over on a stream, but he's fine.
That banana, I don't know if you caught it, but on Callum's screen, that banana scaring the living heck out of Callum. Maybe banana coming through, not going to land.
Missing another. Are we going to go? There's more being thrown, but it looks like he's going to hold on after a somewhat stressful race, but. Still going to be a race loss because LSA is securing the 2 through 4 to guarantee 31 points.
Yep.
And we'll have to see what happens with the rest of the pack, but good on Callum's part to hold down that first because I don't think they got a lot of the other spots.
They didn't. Yeah, I mean 5th at best, but beyond that, no telling really. So
there were bananas coming at all angles too.
Yeah,
not all of them were super close, but one was
one. Yeah, there's always this
chilling. I guess
there's sometimes just that screamer green or that screamer banana or that screamer fib that always just like either bounces right next to you and just like can really unrattle you. It didn't seem to really phase Callum too much there, thankfully.
You remember like it was almost a decade ago at this point. You got this sick green snipe on me. I just had to upload it at the very end of TF. I don't know if you remember that.
I
just remembered
literally no idea what.
I specifically remember this. You made a video called "Get Sniped." It was a latent memory, and then I remember the ending of this race. Sometimes you think you have it, and you just don't.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually. It's probably deep in my unlisted. I have probably like over 100 unlisted right now. That was.
I know I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I definitely went on a purge some time ago, which I'm happy about. And for anyone that's curious, no, I will not on private stuff.
No, yeah. I mean, I totally get it. You see, we had a nice advantage of growing up in the Mario Kart Wii.com days. And the best part about that site is if you are cringe, it's no longer a site that people can look up.
Yeah,
so
excellent
news.
I think like, I don't know. I mean, I just look back at a lot of parts of myself and cringe, which, that in and of itself for me was just like, yeah, I hear myself in these videos. Anyway, totally irrelevant conversation, which I'm happy to have on cast generally. I mean, I'm cool with that.
You gotta fill the spaces sometimes.
Yeah, just winging it. But yeah, we're getting into race 7 here, I believe. Potentially, actually, let me double fact check. Yeah, race 7 here. We're halfway through. Lucifone Alliance only down by 12. We're getting into Grumble Volcano, which
feels like they've won every race except the first one.
Yeah.
I know there's like a top 2 at one point that Scotland got as well. But it truly feels like they're winning every race. But the first one was just so horrendous.
That's the thing. Like that first race happened, you turned to me and you were like, yeah, what's your take on this? This seems pretty bad. I'm like, this doesn't seem like this should have happened. I don't know why that happened. So yeah, Lucifone Alliance really, it feels like, have been on top of the game since.
Yeah, I'm glad they brought it back.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll continue to see that as, they are giving Scotland a run for their money, and I think definitely an unexpected result here. I think
it's a very mixed pack.
Yeah.
Got the Mega up in 4th right now, coming in from Moni's. That's going to obviously be going into effect because of the POW.
Right.
So we'll have to see. Try to have a little bit of a shroom attempt to get him.
Triple shrooms, though, for Moni.
What's the risk that we're taking here?
It
gets redded.
Should be able to land it consistently, but doesn't get the right kind of alignment for it. I think just like kind of getting scared. Yeah.
We were talking about the risk and reward earlier, and if we just went for the respawn, maybe we're able to get out of the red hit.
Yeah, that is true, yeah.
Oh, that fib attempt coming up from Zen was insane. Trying to bounce it off the wall at the beginning. It didn't quite hit, but if you're going to connect on those, sometimes being sneaky is the best way.
For real. Now I do see a shroom here in second for Callum. We'll see if the shock will come in time. Does he dodge?
I'm thinking about it.
No shock as of yet. Surprising. Grumble very prone to shocks, but at least signals maybe Scotland doesn't have it. Callum going to be able to take first place. Lucifone in second. I see Moni's back here in 8th. There's a shock finally comes out. I think this is a Scotland race.
I do too.
But maybe
it feels.
Yeah, I think that's a Lucifone bottom
race
2
for Scotland.
Yeah,
that's a big race. Get the momentum back in your favor.
Finally.
Very, very much needed, I would say.
Yeah, it feels like we've gone so long without seeing like actually any big race on. Like it really has actually felt like Lucifone's war this entire time.
I feel like this is I feel like this is the second best race that any team has pulled, which is crazy. Yeah. Because, but like, it feels like Lusophone, they've won most, but Scotland's just had the bigger ones, and it's just enough at this point. And that's the story of the war so far. Mm-hmm. But I don't think you can be discouraged by this if you're LSA, because you're winning these races. You still have 5 to go, so not everything has to happen at once. Just slowly crawl back in, and then if you get the big one, you get the big one.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Doesn't have to be, more complicated than that. Sometimes we like making it more complicated than that, but yeah, it really doesn't have to. And now, I mean, we have passed, of course, like we mentioned before, the halfway mark. I do wonder. I mean, I think this is maybe the first moment where Lusophone. I mean, I guess since the first race where they have to be like, okay, we've been like bringing it back, consistently, for like a while now. Whether it's like in individual races where things look bad, and then we kind of bring things back at last minute, or since race 1, they've been kind of clawing back slowly but surely and having a little bit of a setback, just needing to make sure they stay on top of it. Of course, I don't think the result is too bad right now. I think they're down. It
really feels like 23. One of those weird matches where the shock has not actually dictated a whole ton outside of the first race.
I'm so glad
both the teams are back there, but so much of what's happening right now is just people controlling the front, almost similar to like a lounge match. You just pull first at the end of Grumble, get the respawn. You don't have to worry about the shock. You're already up there. And I say that now, and I know this is going to be a commentator's curse because I'm looking at the track right now, and we all know how this is likely going to play out.
Right. Yeah, it's Delfino, which, I mean, anyone that's stuck around here long enough will know that this is a pretty haphazard track. But we will see what.
Everybody loves Delfino, but yeah, we all know it can be kind of memed at times.
Yeah,
the shock's going to dictate the result, and there's not much we can do about it but hope.
Right.
We'll see. Now, you may remember back in the day when I was younger, like I was always Micheless and stuff. I hated this track because of that, because we always lost on it, because teams would have pull the shock on us. Star at the double cut, it's game.
Right. So right. This is the part where Callum is going over right now, where we saw last lap, where this is the renowned double cut, where it's just like that, being able to chain a star into the item box before it, hopefully get better items. It's a really godly chain, and it can be so discouraging for anyone to front run, because it's like just like that. Even without a shock, you can very much lose a lot of like the work you kind of do.
This is starting to. While we're talking about this, is also kind of looking like a running battle. It's weird. It's starting to heat up because Callum was in first this whole time. Unfortunately, the banana kind of messed with him, I would imagine, on the cut. It made him go a little wide. He tapped the wall. And now LSA is pulled into top 3, but it looks like they
are in top 3.
They better hope, or for Scotland's sake, that they have stuff in the back, because if not, LSA just quietly gone into top 3.
Yeah, I mean, the blue shell is going to help there, at least. The shock does come out. That may be a cancel, and that does get a lot of people.
Nobody dodged.
That gets a lot of people that were, I saw on the mini-map, everyone seemed to be lined up for that double, so I think that was an incredible shock from Lusophone's part. Callum, can you do anything to salvage here? You spent a red. I don't think it's going to connect. Yeah, it should be a top 2 here for Lusophone Alliance. Maybe Scotland to get some decent spots. No, backspam coming in at the end. Maybe Lusophone getting top 2 for. I don't want to jinx it. Maybe top 2 or 5. I don't know who that 5th place person was. Also,
I'm not entirely certain, but
we're seeing
gonna be close. And again, a rebound by LSA, and
we're
gonna be close.
What people noted, we may have just seen a troll from Scotland's behalf. So we'll have
that changes everything.
We'll have to definitely. We literally might have gone from like a 20-point lead for Scotland to like a 20-point lead for Luso just off of that.
I think the lead was a little bit more than 20. It
was 23. 20. I mean,
it was 20.
According to TableBot, which honestly, I don't know.
I think it's going to be single digits.
Yeah,
I think it's single digits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
and with 1 GP to go.
Yeah, with 1 GP especially.
Wow, there's a lot to determine here.
Yeah. So again, things heating up here. And we'll get that score updated for you shortly. I believe it is, Scotland 250, Lusophone Alliance 238. And that's not including any trolling penalties if that is to be the case, so that will be something reviewed.
I got the referees out for this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I have a confession to make here. One, I don't know the trolling rules as well as you do, I imagine. But two, I'm watching on multi-Twitch right now to get both the perspectives, and both of them happen to go out at the same time to recommend that I should watch on Twitch. So I did not even see the troll. So yeah, I'm just gonna hope that we get it all covered. Hope that it doesn't affect the outcome, but we'll have to see. Yeah,
we'll go ahead and start that conversation because, of course, it is useful to sort out if there's a penalty. You know, before these matches or as these matches are taking place, because, you know, if you know there's a trolling penalty, then it's like, okay, well, I might choose a different track. I might choose to play a little bit differently just individually. So it definitely changes things. But I mean, yeah, I'll be real. I didn't see it either. I was just so caught up in the heat of it all that like I didn't see.
I saw the chat.
Yeah, I saw chat.
Do you have any clips? Do you have any clips?
Yeah, any clip in the chat? Yeah, that's the thing. So at the very least, I have this gift to share with you, and it seems like I will let's watch this at the same time and we'll react. So I'll play in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, I'm seeing a GIF of a player driving into the last item box of Delfino Square. I'm waiting. What? Wait, what?
It just ended.
I was waiting. I was waiting.
Right, referees, it's on you. It's on you.
Yeah.
Got Maple Tree ready to cast.
So I mean, I guess we'll wait for the result here. But yeah, essentially, we will see. It's a tight match either way, and who knows what will become of the next few races. Of course, we are at race 9 now. It's Maple Treeway. Surprising that it took this long to get to Maple Treeway. Maple Treeway being...
I didn't know it was that common, but I do like the track quite a bit. There's a lot of, I guess, advanced driving, you could say.
Yeah.
That's really going to make the difference. That's why my buddy Demon's never going to get a perfect time, unfortunately, because there's just too much going on here.
And speaking of too much going on here, Callum getting sniped.
It makes for it makes for a very interesting chokeable track, I guess.
Yeah, because there's like so many different types of terrain. It's a very bumpy place too in some parts, and
sometimes you can get hit on the net and then just like forfeit the race at that point.
There's just such a nuance to this track that isn't quite there in some other flatter tracks. So definitely heard on that. Callum here in 7th after being in 1st. Which, frankly, I think Callum definitely could have avoided the snipe that got him here in the first place. We heard, at least I heard the game audio that was like, okay, there's a green shell coming behind you.
Yeah, on our other streamer.
Oh, nice. Okay. So Monty's going to be taken down there. And Monty's actually having a controller issue. And so going backwards, I think. I guess.
So, you trying to bag or something?
I don't know what the move here is.
Take advantage of the glitch or something to get like fool the system or something. I don't know.
I don't remember
how the.
Yeah,
I mean he had pretty much forfeited the race. I don't think he can pull shot.
So I think what he's doing here is just trying to get a star so that like if he gets it, he can just follow his players and drop it when the shock happens, when they assume it happens.
Smart.
Scotland.
Where's the spot for that?
It would probably be towards the end. I mean, like he's just gonna try to follow them.
Coming in. Okay. We should probably take a look at the top spots.
Yeah,
Scotland is just realizing
top 3 right now, and this is looking really good for them to be able to create some distance.
Oh no,
especially
this could be a top 4.
Penalty. Yeah, Monty's unfortunately only has the build, so can't really help with anything there. No shock yet. Does get the build to hold on to maybe increase the shock probability of getting it, but nothing happening at the end.
There's anything there. I don't think there's anything
here right now. Is that top 4?
This looks like a top 3 guaranteed, and 4th may be there also.
Yeah.
I think that's a top 4. I think that's a top 4.
I think Lusophone, you maybe had a lead with the trolling penalty for a second, but
that was truly a brutal turn of events. The whole controller issue, and he was already in a bad spot. So coming back, super difficult.
Yeah, that's just tragic, really. Well, Scotland, I'm sure they are breathing a sigh of relief finally to have some distance here.
Yeah, makes up a little bit for the trolling penalty. Their second technically perfect race.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at that point, I guess you could have also gone for a top 4-8, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Right.
So yeah, definitely a bit of a comfort race for sure, even with the trolling penalty potentially on the table.
Mm-hmm. Well, race 10 coming up here. I think with the top 4, obviously we might see some interesting track picks, and that's the thing that's devastating about top 4s, right? And just getting tops in general in any Mario Kart game is that it makes the course selection for the next track so much more impactful.
You rebound as well.
Yeah,
from that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think LSA has probably won more than half the races at this point, but even just like with the vanilla score, no penalty added, they're going to be down 30 to 40, I believe, right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to figure out at some points, like, we're winning races, we have to win them by more. We're starting to run out of time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if they believe that they have the trolling penalty 100%, maybe that changes the mindset. But at the end of the day, they're either going to have to get a big race, or they're going to have to win all of them pretty decently.
Yeah.
Maybe 9, 11-point margins, etc.
You're right on.
So the clock is starting to tick.
It is. It's race 10 now. We're already at the double digits. That's not a good sign for Luso, who, I mean, after that race, I think that race alone makes it kind of feel more like curtains. But like right now, 296 points for Scotland, 253 for the Luso Lions, which, I mean, that's without trolling penalty, if that is indeed the case. This is also assuming that TableBot is correct, which, sometimes it isn't. But if there is a trolling penalty, then we have a 20-point match, a 20-point differential here. That's all that's separating us. So that's important to keep in mind.
I'm not entirely certain I like what I see for LSA right now, especially now that Money's failed the NIST, but he did get the blue off right in time. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I say this is because Callum's holding a bill in 6th right now.
Yeah.
If the shock goes to the side of Scotland, wow, that is trouble. Because the guys in 7th and 8th for LSA right now, they can't even they can't pull the bill. Yeah. It's stars or nothing.
Yeah, and more than that, I think that's the thing that's so powerful about the bill that maybe goes understated sometimes is the information it gives you as your team is to your bagger of like, hey, you can go back for boxes and you don't have to worry about getting the bill. Like that's something that you can just do 100% without.
And for all the other team knows, like you may be holding a star or mega.
Yeah.
Or even anything else.
Exactly.
Your items are not revealed in this game.
Yeah.
So surprise element and information, definitely an underrated aspect.
We're in the 3rd lap, nothing doing quite yet. Callum seems pretty confident.
Is he going to build to cover the potential TS? That may be something that's considered. Maybe he holds it to the end if they have it.
It's just interesting because I think baggers sometimes have a hard time reading what the other bagger actually has, especially on this track. So it could be anything from they don't know.
They're still going for it because Daisy's spinning out right now.
Either way, he has a bill in 5th. Just use it. Just use it.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a star, and the other guy has no items.
Why are you taking
Shrooms? I don't think it's coming.
Okay. This dude stressed me out for so much. It's a top 3, though, for Scotland. I think that might be it.
There's the bill. And wow, that is another great race for Scotland. The bill is not even needed. Shot comes in, but a little too late for any meaningful change.
Yeah. I want to take a second to just acknowledge, like, he had a bill on lap 3 and was still holding it after the last item box in 5th, which, item box, the duration of your bullet bill will last based on like how many positions you cross from where you started the bill, and like you can only cross so many positions when you're in 5th. So it was just kind of funny to see him holding the bill when he could have realistically probably used it in the red.
Or the montage, as somebody in the chat mentioned.
Yeah,
gotta flex a little bit. You're getting featured for 300 people right now. Got to show off a little bit.
At least a bit, yeah.
Hey, he didn't lose any spots to LSA. Everybody's saying lap 4, but he used it to get past everybody outside his teammates. He didn't need to get top 2 to get the optimal race.
I guess if like he knows they had shock, which like the shock came after they all finished, so that's maybe very well the case. If that's the case, then like what's the point of like risking hitting your teammates at that point? And you can at least after Shroomless, it's like I don't know. I guess, lesser of a chance to maybe hit them, potentially. So, in that sense, it's an all right play. We'll take it. We'll accept it. I'm just curious if Luso Lions can bring it back at this point, which is, it's a shame, really, because I do think, especially if they're able to get Jaggy in running position on Sunday, I do think they'll be really formidable. It's actually kind of shocking how formidable they'll be. That, at least in my opinion, that Monkeys, I came into them just like seeing their roster and being like, okay, Monkeys is the best player, and he's like third right now on Indos for them. So, yeah, really, if nothing else, even if this doesn't go well for them, they still have, I think, a lot of potential to do well here in the play-in stage.
Yeah, sorry, I was responding to a message. Again, a lot of positives to look at. We know Scotland absolutely dismantled Finland earlier, so to be even able to hang with them and play in is at least something that I'll say I can claim. The issue is, who else is in the group, and do you think that this is the best team in the group? Because if you lose 2 games, suddenly you aren't really in control of everything anymore.
That's the thing, is
top 2 advances. So they're going to have to rebound from this, be like, we played well against a good team, gotta win from here on out. And thing is, they aren't even out of this match yet, technically. That trolling penalty is still very much a thing, so if it does go through, which the chat seems pretty confident that it was blatant, from what I can tell. We don't know, but we'll find out. If they feel that way, like, this is still very much a match.
Yeah, I'm not one to automatically trust Twitch chat, but it did seem the result, the voice was made clear.
It's better than the truly gigantic Twitch chats. Oh no, Callum bumping Monies into the car, and that's gonna be a top 3 now. So again, like we were talking about, it isn't over yet, but there's no shock here. This is gonna be tough. It's gonna be really tough. Yeah, it helps a little bit, but they better hope they have something.
Scotland, the thing is, we see them in top 2 here.
Now. Monies is in a dodge, and nothing is coming.
Nothing seeming to happen, and I think Scotland just gets shocked there and just wins it off that.
Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it.
So in that case, that's all.
Ryan coming up on the line too. I'm not even certain that this is it's 100% over if there's no penalty. I'm not certain that there's really even a match if there is a penalty at this point. This GP3 has just been too strong for Scotland.
It really has been. Yeah. And either way, I mean, big shout outs to Luso. That first race was kind of weird, I do think. But like, I think at this point, it's just like, it just seems like there was one straw that broke their back, and after like the first race of this GP, race 9, and after that, it's just been difficult for them to catch on up. But for Scotland, yeah, they definitely capitalized and showed up and clutched out when they really needed to. So hats off to them.
They had a masterful GP1 and GP2 against Finland earlier, and it looks like they're just saying, oops, we missed GP3, let's get it tonight.
Exactly.
Because a bunch of them on 30, I'm not sure if anybody else on the opposing team has 20 this GP. And let's take a look at the score right now. With 1 to go, correct? Or is it 2?
It should be 1. One more race to go, yeah.
I mean, if that's a 42-point lead with the penalty and only 1 course to go, wait, can it even be 42 at this point? Are you sure? I'm not sure the score is
I don't think it can be. No. So
I think regardless, if this is if it's not up to date and there's 1 to go, I'm pretty sure that they can't even score the plus 41 for a top 5. So
So
we'll see. Some of them are going GV2 though, so maybe they believe that there's something.
Either way, it goes DC and Mario Circuit.
Know the score better than
it's DC and Mario Circuit, so this is a really popular all-run track. It actually, I can't explain it very well, but like basically like just the distance that you're able to create, and just make sure if you have 2 people bagging, stopping before boxes, making sure that the other team can't get good item boxes to like hold up. Then you can have a really good strat of playing well here with 5 people
for running. Sure. And I think that has to be the play right now, mainly because I see it with my own eyes, and also just burning a Mega from the first set just for the sake of taking the cut. it seems like they're going for the top 5 here. Absolutely. Actually, wait, no. Okay, never mind everything I just said. I just looked at the mini map again. All right, they are not doing that.
Yeah.
We can ignore that I just said that.
Right. Yeah. No, because it is. Yeah, I think at this point they're like, why not just finish on not bagging? I would have personally just been like, screw it. If it doesn't really matter that much, I'm just gonna race. But you know, hats off to the dedication.
Man, that I don't know if it was shown on stream. We got a Fibs. They are just wailing, just destroying Monties right now. There's a Fib snipe, and it was one of those ones where like you're trying to avoid it and you drive into it as a result. Almost like a little bit of metagaming.
God, that didn't quite catch. Maybe I can see. Yeah, his stream is pretty far behind for me, so I can switch over and maybe see that.
Yeah, I think that is decent shock. I want to say for LSA. I wasn't looking entirely, but. I think, yeah, they got into first there. Wait, what are we doing? That bomb was a little bit scary. Blue's coming in, so I think Scotland may actually get top 2 regardless.
No, I think. No. Oh, okay. No, Monty's stream is just way behind. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
So I saw the bomb you were talking about now. Yeah. So I think Luso was able to get first, just barely. I think they get 1-4 off of that. But yeah, it was the kind of situation that wasn't the best of races, but it was salvageable enough. That bomb is a dream spot to snipe from, being able to snipe from the other side of the track. There are a couple places in Mario Kart Wii that are just like that, where you have access to part of the track that players way up. I mean,
I've seen MKW players post the clip of somebody throwing a fib off of Rainbow Road and landing on MC. So, like, yeah, I know we like our long snipes, even in meme format.
Right. For sure.
If there was any answer for the comeback that LSA was making throughout the GP1 and GP2 for that matter, it was completely shut down by Scotland. 3 40-point GPs, I think a 30 on top of it.
Yeah.
They saw that trolling penalty and said, "Nah, we're just gonna get it done."
Well, yeah, it's funny, yeah. Like literally the second that happened, and it was like, "Oh wow, we're gonna have a really incredibly close finish," and then they were like,
"Yeah, don't even worry, Steph. You don't have to look into this trolling penalty." Then again, maybe you do for the plus minus, but
yeah, for the technical bit, but yeah, that's really the only reason. Well, my goodness, that was a great match, and honestly, I'm really excited to see what comes from Lusophone Alliance. I've talked about it enough. But they do seem to be like a team that I think has a lot more than what they showed here, especially when they have the proper lineup come into play. So they are 1-1 now.